Welcome to Obi-Wan Studios, and for today's LEGO Star Wars minifigure comparison, I have two Plo Koon minifigs, the first being the original Plo Koon from the 8093 Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter set, which released in 2010, against the all-new 2025 Plo Koon from the 75400 Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter. With this new version of Plo Koon, I thought it'd be great to take a look at the original version and just all of the upgrades the new one has, taking a look at them side by side, because the sets, while we have an amazing Jedi Starfighter build from 2010, the 2025 Microfighter is a little bit disappointing, so no real point in comparing the two sets, but let's compare the two minifigs. Alright, so where there's clearly the biggest difference between the two minifigs is the head mold, so let's start off with that piece first on the original 2010 version. Now, the original version's head mold used this more softer rubber material, which was totally fine, especially if you're displaying the minifig, but for play, the points of his anti-ox breath mask will bend, and there is that risk, it feels like, at least to them, breaking off. So that's just something to note in terms of the quality of the original minifig. In terms of its actual design, though, this version of Plo Koon, I'm sure a lot of you have nostalgia for, because it was definitely exciting just to get a Plo Koon minifig, but to me at least, it never 100% looked like Plo Koon, and I think it has to do with the proportions of the head mold, not necessarily the details that are there for the piece. To me, those points for the anti-ox breath mask extend way too far out, they're just too big, and then his head doesn't have quite as much depth to it, and it's a little bit too tall and narrow versus being a bit wider, especially where his, what I believe are at least ears are, but the details definitely are there for what you'd expect for a Plo Koon head piece. When you look at the back of the original head mold, there is that mold marker as well, which doesn't look too great, and then this gap as well there, which is a little awkward looking too. The only other thing with the original head mold that doesn't look the best is the actual lines separating the color scheme of the anti-ox breath mask and Plo Koon, where the orange and gray isn't super sharp. There definitely is some blending between the lines there where they're not exactly where there should be, so it just doesn't look that great when you're inspecting the minifig up close, but definitely a really great headpiece to get for 2010, and like I said, I'm sure a lot of you guys have a ton of nostalgia for, but definitely it needed an upgrade. When we turn to the 2025 head mold, it looks fantastic. It just looks like Plo Koon to me. And that issue of the depth and scaling with the original is totally fixed with the new piece. And I think it becomes a lot more apparent when you place these two minifigs side by side, how the other one looks just a bit squished and too long, especially with the breath mask piece compared to the new one. All of those issues are completely fixed and might not have been what you thought of issues with the original, but certainly it just looks so much better for the newer piece. The newer piece is also done in a harder plastic, so it's a lot more durable, and the lines in the color scheme between the anti-ox breath mask and Plo Koon are incredibly sharp. It looks so great. The quality is definitely there, and the backside as well is just a lot more refined for Plo Koon's head too. No mold marker or anything. It just looks sharp. It looks absolutely fantastic. This is, I have to say, a perfect headpiece for Plo Koon. And while the head mold is the biggest difference and upgrade between these two minifigs, there is a nice modernization to Plo Koon's Jedi robes on the 2025 version as well. The original version's design for the Jedi robes was this two-tone brown color scheme where you had reddish brown arms and then a dark brown torso and legs. You had a nice Jedi robe print on Plo Koon's torso, but no additional printing, not even back printing, which for a character like Plo Koon was decently standard for the time. You can't really fault the minifig too much for not having additional detail, but the new version, the printing just looks so sharp. It's definitely a 2025 minifig in terms of all of the details that LEGO gave him. The two-tone color scheme is still there where you have the reddish brown arms. However, this time you have reddish brown legs as well, because we have waist, leg, and even a footprint for Plo Koon, adding in the additional details for his Jedi robes, plus a back printing. The only thing that I just wish LEGO would have given this version of Plo Koon to take him to, and honestly what I consider a pretty much 10 out of 10 minifig, would be just some sort of arm printing for his Clone Wars armor. I think would have looked so awesome, but otherwise the belt, especially on the torso, looks fantastic. It's very sharp looking compared to the original, and just a really great modernization of this Plo Koon minifig. He's one of my favorite Jedi of all time. Just from the Clone Wars, I really fell in love with this character, so to get just such a fantastic Plo Koon minifig makes me so happy. I'm so excited to say that this new 2025 Plo Koon is just an upgrade in every single way compared to the original minifig's design, but the fact that we didn't get a full-size version of Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter is so disappointing. The opportunity was right there to get a remake of this incredible set, which honestly still looks pretty good today, but the fact that we at least got a Plo Koon minifig is great. I just really wish that we would have gotten a full-size Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter. Would have been so amazing. But you guys, let me know what you think of these two minifigs in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this new version of Plo Koon? If you did enjoy the comparison, please leave a like on the video. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already and you want to support the LEGO Star Wars videos that I make, please make sure you hit subscribe before you're done watching the video. Thanks again so much for watching. My name is Justin, and I'll see you on the next LEGO Star Wars video on Obi-Wan Studios.